Right, hi everybody, thanks for coming again. I'm just going to start off now, I'll pass you on to Mandy. So I just wanted to update you on the campaign that we were talking about the last time. So we were telling you about me and Mandy were going to start a campaign for instant remand of anybody is charged with a sexual offence against a child. So we started this on the 1st of June. The 1st of June we've sent 27 emails. We've sent them to local MSPs, we've sent them to different MPs. Nicola Sturgeon, who's useless, we knew we weren't going to get a response for her anyway. The Children's Minister we emailed as well. So that's 20 days it's passed and we've had nothing back for them at all. Not one response for any of them at all. Well, exactly, their silence speaks volumes, do you know what I mean? It just tells us everything that we need to know. They're not interested. We've got a petition for Parliament and it'll be going live at the end of the month. And everybody can just sign it, share it, do whatever we can do. Then we need to start being proactive. We need to go to Parliament, but we all need to go together. And if me and Mandy need to put transport on for us to get there, that's what we'll do. We need to go, we need to be outside Parliament. Definitely. We'll hire a bus and we'll all go because we all need to do this together. Me and Mandy's only 2 people, so we need all yous with us. We're not going to stand for this any longer. We're not going to stand back while these paedophiles are being protected and their children are being plunged into danger every single day. Not a chance. We say it all the time. We're not going to stay silent so they can stay comfortable. It's time to stand together, all of us, and protect the children. The people that genuinely want to protect the children don't just want to jump on the bandwagon. Please come and stand with us and support us. Thanks very much. I'll pass you to Mandy.
Hi everybody, thanks again for coming. Yep, and like Laura said, we only come here every week trying to raise awareness of how bad the child abuse is in this country, how we've got a government, institution and authorities doing crap about it, like they're doing absolutely nothing to protect these children. We see children absolutely traumatised, they can't go to police because the police can't do the investigations because they don't have the power to do it basically. They're being told that they don't have the power to investigate certain things to do with child abuse. Not only, me and Laura are totally alarmed right now. Bernardo's Charity, I don't know if anybody knows, we've did a lot of research and awareness about Bernardo's Charity, but currently Bernardo's Charity are they were part of the Scottish Child Abuse Inquiry. They've been found guilty of trafficking and exploiting children for decades in this country, absolute decades. They worked with the Scottish Government way back, about 50 years ago, in the removal of children along with social services. It was the travellers' children in Scotland. If you've got any travelling friends, they'll tell you this story. Social services came into their places where they lived and bullied them, and there was a government policy, a Scottish government policy, allowing them to do so. And then they removed children. The same thing's happening right now with this pandemic. Social services are bullying families and removing children. It's not any different from what happened 50 years ago. And Bernardo's Charity are child traffickers and the Scottish Government are funding them to hide all the serious child abuse cases. Every time there's a really damaged child, Bernardo's Charity get handed that child, get handed the responsibility of keeping the paperwork on that child because it's private, nobody can receive this information. We currently want to get another petition as well to get Bernardo's investigated because we just found out last week Glasgow City Council have just handed a full complex in Maryhill for £1. They sold it to Bernardo's Charity. They've sold the land and the property. This property is going to be used to assist children coming out of the care and to live in the communities. Well, before I even look into it even further, I know this is going to be the children that's currently in secure units, that these places are going to be used to hold the children and keep them silent. That's why we're out in the street shouting every day. These children shouldn't be silenced. Why are we silencing children of child trafficking and child abuse? Why is the Scottish Government not convicting paedophiles? Why are they not sending them to jail? Why is the Scottish Government spending millions and millions of pounds? We've got the paperwork on rehabilitation programmes for paedophiles. You cannot rehabilitate a paedophile. Why are you giving them millions of pounds? to release them out of jail early, to keep raping more children. This is why we need to go to Parliament and fight for our children. It is not on. A paedophile shouldn't be able to rape babies and get 10 years and walk out with a new identity in our country. It just shouldn't happen. Be able to place ourselves within our communities and put our children in danger. We've got 100 members of a grooming gang running about the streets of Glasgow city centre. These grooming gang members own flats. See all these flats run about you that you see in Glasgow city centre? These flats are owned by people. They're trafficking children in them, they're trafficking teenagers in them, they're raping them, they're torturing them and they're trafficking them. And all these flats across our city centre at night, I've come in here myself, come in yourself, you'll see it. See the hostels and the hotels, there's child trafficking going on in them. It is absolutely sickening what is going on in this country now. If you look into the government documents, they'll clearly tell you Police Scotland do not have the funding to attend child sexual exploitation meetings. So what, do we just forget about the children then because we don't have the funding to attend meetings? We'll let volunteers attend the meetings and find out what's happening with our children. So like I said, I don't know if anybody's aware, but the Scottish Government sold Govanhill to one owner 15 years ago. We're still trying to find out who that owner is. But we do know that Bernardo's Charities running the show. We know that Bernardo's Charities is running the homeless children's unit. We know Bernardo's Charity owns part of the Housing Association. We know Bernardo's Charity more or less owns Govanhill. Now we've got a plate, we're going to start selling Maryhill to Bernardo's Charity. Why are we giving property and buildings to allow people to rape and abuse and exploit children? Why is nobody doing anything about this? Why are Police Scotland not investigating these charities? Because we've been shouting about this for months. Why is there no investigations getting done? Why is the Scottish Government not getting investigating for trafficking and exploiting children? Because that's what they're doing right now. I had a woman the other day contacting me to ask for help because she was really busy. She had 2 health visitors just turn up at her door. This is how the government are working now. So 2 health visitors turned up and she's on her way out. She said, "Oh, I'm really sorry. Could I rearrange the appointment? You've never sent me a letter." This woman's now got social work. The children have been placed in a child protection order because she has to rearrange an appointment. That's not normal. Like, people need to start, we need to expose this because this isn't normal. People are getting bullied now and their children removed. But yet, me and Laura have showed you time and time again, social services can't remove or put the children on child protection orders, the ones that need child protection orders. Like, what was the name of that wee baby? That wee baby they left and they ended up dying. Liam Fee. Wee Liam. No, there's a perfect look, Liam Fee. There's a child. Social services were heavily involved in that family and that heavily involved. And that child got to die, but yet you can refuse a visitor's appointment right now and you're getting your child on a child protection order. There's seriously something corrupt, really, really corrupt in our social services. Bernardo's Charity and the Scottish Government just now, they're hiding child abuse in a massive, massive scale. Me and Laura have also got a wee newspaper here, guys. We're going to bring it every week and it's just all the convicted paedophiles, Scotland's worst paedophile rings in there because they're all free, so their faces are there. There's maybe about 30-40 members of the UK grooming gang that are all free walking about the streets. Probably most of them are in Glasgow if I'm being honest because there's 100 members. And there's also Nicola Sturgeon pictured with a paedophile who was cuddling him and was a pal. So this wee magazine paper's just for awareness. It's just to tell you the stories that the mainstream media won't cover and they won't tell you, but what's really happening in Scotland and how much danger our children are really in. It's sickening. Now these grooming gangs as well, guys, to just highlight, like these guys own takeaway shops and they also drive taxis. So this is where they groom the children. They let them sit in the back of the takeaway shops and get alcohol after hours. They tell them they can't drink it in the street so they can sit in the back of their shops. Before you know it, your child's been raped and a grooming gang being exploited and prostituted out because they're being threatened with pictures and stuff that these guys take of them when they're drunk. Yep, in the Goma building, guys, in the city centre. There's a lot of children sit round at the Goma building. That's the Gallery of Modern Arts, it's just down there somewhere. And there's a lot of victims of grooming gangs that sit about these places. The guys target them in these side streets and stuff. Nobody's really aware. Even some of these girls believe that these guys are their boyfriends. But we're trying to teach them that your boyfriend wouldn't make you have sex with 10 men for money. Like, that's not a boyfriend. But they genuinely are groomed, and they're so young and naive that they don't understand that this isn't right, or they're just too terrified of the pictures, like their school friends and stuff finding out what's happening, that they don't tell anybody. But Goma is a place to, if you see children kicking about there, like, just keep an eye on them. They're more safe in this city centre. So again, guys, thanks for coming. We've got our wee paper for awareness. And can I just say a massive thank you to Billy for our speaker? Thank you, Billy. You're an absolute diamond. Yeah, we're going to go to Nicola Sturgeon's in Parliament and outside the newspapers and everywhere with us.
If she couldn't hear us before, she's definitely going to hear us.
Yeah, she's going to hear. I'm going to learn to sing. Right, but thanks, guys, for everything.
And Laura has said, now social services are going into homes every day and removing children. Now they're saying they're removing these children for protection. Now this is a whole load of crap. These children are being put into care homes or foster carers or wherever it is they're getting put. And these children are 100 times more susceptible to being trafficked, abused and sodomised on a daily basis. Now within a care unit, there may be 7 members of staff and 10 kids. Now you'll have 2 members of staff in the main office doing whatever it's got to do with paperwork and 5 members of staff doing whatever else they have to do. Now these kids are allowed to go back and forward, to go out whenever they want to go. And due to being in care homes, they end up meeting people within the community who allow them to get into their houses. Now these guys are abusing these kids. They have them in the house taking drink, they have them taking drugs and having underage sex with these kids. Now these care homes, I can approve for Ayrshire, these care homes know what's going on. I investigated a lot of people when I worked in Ayrshire, and I'm ashamed to say that it's not changed in the 10.5 years that I've not been working. Now it's disgusting. If we don't stand up for these kids, nothing's going to happen. Now kids abscond on a daily basis for these children's units, and they end up in these homes with these old guys who prostitute them out, who give them drink and do all sorts of things with these men, and it's no right. Social services pretend that they're protecting kids. They're not protecting kids. They're taking away kids because they get money. Because these kids are in the care sector, they get money for the government. So they do. So they're gaining when they've got X amount of kids in a care home. So guys, you need to waken up. You've got a right to tell social services if you're not ready to speak to them that day. You don't have to speak to them. As for the young lassie who's been told that her kids on a child protection because she couldn't go and see them that day, an unannounced visit. I'm sorry, that's wrong. You only get unannounced visits if your kid's at risk. You shouldn't get an unannounced visit for a doctor, a health visitor, a social worker, unless your kids are at risk. That's when you get unannounced visits, and it can be any time during the day or during the night if they have to protect a kid. But if a health visitor's just coming out to see you, she's got to tell you when she's coming. And no child should be put on the child protection register because a parent didn't have that time that day to speak to the health visitor. So guys, waking up. This isn't just your kid, my grandkids. This is every kid that is subjected to this. Waking up and listen to what's going on, guys. Thank you.
Hiya. Thanks for coming, everybody. I'm Mags, I'm a survivor. 3 weeks ago, I was told I couldn't speak. That's like telling a survivor to keep their mouth shut. So I want to stay silent so anybody can stay comfortable. I want to touch on social work. They're out there and they're discriminating families with disabilities. I've got a good friend who's gone through it. They're discriminating because he's got disabilities, forcing him to wear a mask to have contact with his child. He's expressed how it feels when he's got a mask on. They still discriminate when they say forcing him. If he does not wear that mask, he doesn't see his child, so he's got no choice and he puts up with it. But there's no law for that he must wear a mask. Now this boy has got a child in his own care. He looks after perfectly. Brilliant daddy. But you will not give him contact with his other child because he's got some disability. Shame on social work for doing that. Bring this family together.
Yeah.
He does not need to wear a mask and you're discriminating him. We need to stand up, not with eyes. We need to build this up. People are saying we need to come together. People are telling survivors not to talk. No, we will talk. But we need to build this up. We need to come together. It's not about us, it's about Dave Ains that's out there. Dave Ains then turned into somebody like myself who's 15 years old and who's still dealing with it. Fighting against inquiries that aren't right. They're still leaving you. They help. They say they help you, they don't help you. They leave you in limbo. They leave you to deal with yourself. And you fight, but you be strong. And you don't let them beat you. And you keep speaking up. And don't let the children down, because we need to be the children's voices. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stephen Bonner. I'm granddad of Rhys Bonner, father of Stephanie Bonner. I got one thing to say today is I got arrested a couple of days ago up East House police station. And what I've been up there for is to see a sergeant, a new sergeant. Because I went up there and seen a couple of months ago about Rhys Bonner's case. It's a missing persons case, investigation case in 2019. Missing on the 24th of July in 2019. Missing person investigation didn't start till the 26th of July 2019. So it was a witness up on Buckaby Road said that Rhys Bonner walked down the road at 5 past midnight with DD. Known person up in Providence Hall and Lock End. But 11 months later, the post came to my daughter's house, Stephanie Bonner's, and it says to Stephanie that wasn't Rhys Bonner walking down Buckaby Road at 5 past midnight. So the reason I went up to the police station was to see the sergeant. I spoke to the sergeant 2 months ago, and I said to him, so he listened to me, and he said yes, no problem. I said, could you verify any new investigation going to be held for Rhys Bonner? Because that wasn't Rhys walking down. I tried to find out who was this person walking down. So he talked to me, and I gave him my phone number. And after that, I asked his name, he can contact the CID down in Shuttleton and see if there's going to be a new investigation. And the sergeant said to me that he came back to me. So that was 2 months gone by, so there was no answer on my phone or nothing. So I went up to see the East House police station. So I was with my Justice Rhys t-shirt, no this one, my green one. I had hashtag corrupt cops at the back, the Justice Rhys at the front. So I was walking in the front area. Went in the public area in the police station. I pressed the buzzer. I waited there for 20 minutes. 20 minutes I waited, there was no answer. And I can see the door, the shadows walking underneath the door, it's been quiet. They were in here. So I just got fed up, so I walked out. So I took a video around the circumference of the public street on towards the police station, the East House police station. So I walked around the side into John Beatty College. So the two coppers came in the motor, going in their car park, their private car park. So they stopped before we got in the car park. They looked through the fence to me and says, "What are you doing, mister?" I said, "Well, I'm just videoing in public." He said, "You can't do that." I said, "Well, I can do that, it's legal." He said, "You can't photo and video in my car park." This is my car park. I said, "Well, this is my public street here, my public way. What my eyes can see in your private area, you cannot trespass my eyes." So whatever happens, they get a bit of butthurt because me saying that to them. They didn't like it because I knew about the law. So they walked up the lane, came in John Beatty College, where I was standing, videoing in the car park. It wasn't in the vicinity, it wasn't in a private area, it was in a public area. And because I knew about the law, they asked me, "Can I talk to you?" I said, "Well, is it consensual?" He said, "Yes, it's consensual." Well, I said, "I don't want to talk to you." I walked away. They grabbed my arms. He said, "You're arrested for breach of the peace." This is because I never answered their questions, because they want me to answer their question, give them respect. They've not given me respect for 2 years, or my daughter. You see my daughter, Stephanie Bona, she says a lot, she repeats a lot, I repeat a lot and all. It's because the post don't do nothing at all about it. And now I've got conditions on my, I got caught on the 5th of August. It's 3 days before I reach a fund in 2019. So I got a court case on the 5th of August for breach of peace. I've got conditions on it. I've not got any Bogbain Road. I've not got any Easterhouse Police Station. I've not got near Westerhouse Road till my court case comes up. Now this is telling me I've not got near the police station again. Well, I will. I'm going to Shelton Police Station next, so be ready when I come down. Now I'm in a public hall, I'm videoing, I'm allowed to do this. So why do you keep on jailing me for any apparent reason? 3 times you jailed me in this past 3 years. What nonsense. I put my finger up. They complain against it, they jailed me for it. They can't complain, police can't complain against you. There should be a public out of the area, you've got to complain me for doing this. Freedom of speech and that, no, and it was sign language, whatever, you know what I mean? But they get butthurt, because it's aimed at them. They can't take in butthurt, because they want to do a policy, they want to say, we do the place, we don't like the law, so we just go against the law. This is a police talking to you, you know what I mean? So whatever happened, I should have done that, but I done it. But it's not a jail offence or any charge offence, no. But the post guy says to me at that time, that was 6 months ago, he says to me, I said, where'd you come from? What area did you come from? He said, I come from East Kilbride, he says. East Kilbride. So I seen the sergeant up East House, a new one. He said, no, I can tell by his call number, his shoulder number. He's come to this police station, East House police station. The post told me lies where he came from. Is that right? You know, my wife was there, a witness as well, watched it all. I see, I got arrested there for no apparent reason. I got took to Coke Bridge police station, half an hour. They asked me if I take medication. I take medication, yes, but it's too much medication, I can't remember it. So they let me in half an hour's time. And I see the conditions, whatever, I'm not getting near a police station again. But do you get it? I was in there for 20 minutes. Press the buzzer, 20 minutes. There's people in there. It's 5 to 12. Yeah, you know what I mean? Midday. It could be dinner time, but people want about. They could have answered me in the public. I could be desperate for help here. Something could have happened, you know what I mean? But it just ignored me. And so you get outside and started videoing the car park, when I seen people in the place, asked me to get butt hurt and come out and arrested me for no apparent reason. They changed the whole thing. They changed the whole thing to videoing in their place, car park, in a public place to breach the peace. And this is for them to get my camera off me. They took my camera as evidence. I went back to my house that night, go to my Facebook, there was 3 videos deleted. What I took these posts, guys. They took it for evidence for this court, so there's no evidence left for the court. So what do you know? Send me a letter saying, you don't need to go to court now. We don't need you anymore. We need point now because we see evidence off you, you know what I mean? So we just left the evidence in my phone, took me to court. He'd have been done for all for arrest. And you know what? And that's why I done this. Not afraid of the posting, I tell my family. It's everybody's Hampton family. It doesn't matter good cop, bad cop, you're all fucking bands. I just don't trust them at all. All I do is a policy. All they think is talk nice to me. And once you don't talk back to them, they'll be very aggressive to you. They say stuff to you, so you need you aggressive, so you do for peace and peace. It's all lies. I wonder if you got a body camera on that day that arrested me, so I'm going to ask for footage for that. I'm going to follow you footage for that. I know you're reading a new, reading back to them. I don't care.
Justice for
Freedom of speech. You get a piece of peace. Have you got her on your wall? Thank you very much.
Thanks, Stephen.
Well done.
And nobody can blame Stephen for how raging he gets. I've got nothing but utter respect for how calm he stays. Because at the end of the day, they've been treated with nothing but utter disrespect.
Yes, man.
Just before I go, like if you want to grab a wee paper, I'll just give you a wee idea of what's in it. So this is the stuff that they don't tell you in mainstream media. So Police Scotland Sergeant Paul Bucknell, age 50, Cumbernauld, on the 28th of January 2020, he got done with downloading indecent images of children and he was suspended on full pay and he was bailed.
Typical.
So Police Scotland, Stuart Galloway, 47. He was a former CID officer and he was also a former Child Protection Unit officer. He had indecent images of children and he'd also been hiding evidence of the child abuse cases in his loft. Police Scotland, Derek Kennedy, 34, he's from Dundee. He downloaded child rape videos. He had 3,000 pictures and over 18 hours of graphic video footage. He had 1,118 child rape videos. Children's from infant to 15 years old. They were mostly category A for bestiality and sadism. That was in 2019. He got suspended on full pay as well. SNP, Scotland's Finance Minister, Derek Mackay, well, he was caught grooming a young boy and he resigned. Probably drives a black taxi. Labour councillor David Fagan, 52, from North Lanarkshire, Airdrie. He was a member of the Councils for Education and Social Work committees. He was found in possession of indecent images of children. Police Scotland Sergeant Anthony Kelly, 50. He was convicted of possession of pictures of child sexual abuse and extreme pornography, images of bestiality involving young children. He resigned from police after being caught. Why are police allowed to resign? So that it doesn't affect their future jobs when they've been convicted of being paedophiles and they wonder why we're on the street shouting about our children every day. Where's the protection for our children? Why are paedophiles being protected? Why do paedophiles not get jail sentences in Scotland? Why do they get why do they get bailed? Why do they get allowed? There's 2 members of the town head paedophile ring get allowed to commit suicide while on bail. Why do they get any kind of freedom? Why do they get out to prey on more vulnerable children? There was also another Police Scotland Constable, Ryan David Anderson. His home was raided on intelligence. A total of 724 illegal photographs of youngsters have been downloaded, including 149 classes in category A. Many of these images were of very small children, if not babies. He admitted making 3 indecent images, photos of children himself, possessing extreme pornographic images, almost a dozen featuring animals, and 1 showing an unconscious woman being raped. 1 charge of distributing a category A image and publishing an obscene article and discussing child abuse. He was suspended on full pay. Police Scotland Constable Robbie Conacher admitted accessing indecent images of children in his computer. And anyway, I could read these out all day, but I won't bother. There's a wee paper and you can all grab one, guys. And if anybody wants to speak before I go, but this is just an idea of why we're out here shouting. Paedophiles get to walk free and our children aren't free, our children aren't safe, and they're constantly being preyed upon. Child Protection aren't doing anything, Scottish Government aren't doing anything. As Laura said, we've wrote to all the MSPs across the whole of Scotland to back our campaign for straight remands for paedophiles. None of them are doing anything, so we're going to take it to them. We're going to get the signatures and we're going to start going to parliaments, prosecutor fiscals and courts and asking for remands for paedophiles. I'm going to give the mic to Diane and then Sandy's going to have a wee word.
Hi guys, just another wee bit I'd like to add. The Bonner and Devine family and the Connolly family are only looking for the Police Scotland to work with them to get answers to what's happened to both their boys. But what they're doing damn all. Police would rather come and arrest me because I approached a perpetrator up in Castlemilk. Arrest me, but then he come back to me and tell me, sorry, we can't take you to court because of no evidence on me. So why can't they be doing their job? No, I don't care how many times I see Donna Drummond, they can arrest me 1,000 times. I will still approach that woman. I will tell her she's scummy herself. And if I see her, I'll keep on doing it. Then maybe Police Scotland will start doing their job. But have we got to do the job for them? Because at the end of the day, standing there doing damn all with a mask on, standing there looking and listening to what's going on. No, I'm sorry. How many people need your protection? What do you do? Damn all! Damn all! That's what you do. You do nothing. A 19-year-old boy murdered and he's done nothing. He's a scummy yourself.
Afternoon, friends and warriors all. Many of you know me. My name's Sandy Smith. And my partner Jane and I, we spent time in Quarriers Orphan Homes. And in 1959, I was 8 years of age, when my childhood died. The things that happened to me was disgusting and shocking. I can't even mention, because there are kids here today and I'm not going into detail. But the things that happened to me, you wouldn't even see in a blue movie, and I mean that. I've been fighting for justice since 1986, not just for what happened to myself, but what happened to Jane and many others. We started a group called the Quarriers Warriors Justice for Children Army. We're proud to lead these. Jane and I, we've been chosen to be the spokesperson for this. All we want is justice. Today, as I speak, one of my abusers is still running about. I am not allowed to mention his name because I can get arrested. The man that abused me, I'm not allowed to mention his name unless I get arrested. Now, I've tried to speak to Nicola Sturgeon, I've tried to speak to Police Scotland, I've done everything in my bloody power just to get someone to listen to me. A few months back there, I received a letter in from the Scottish Government apologising for the abuse we went through, because the Scottish Government many years ago came out with rules and regulations that all orphanages in Scotland had to abide by, but they never followed this up. Hence, the abuse was continuing. We fought many battles. The first battle we started, we wanted Quarriers to admit they knew children were getting abused and give us an apology. We knew that would be a very, very hard battle to win. But we linked and we joined as brothers and sisters together. Just now, we met another warrior yesterday, which we'll speak about later. And this woman was in Quarriers. Luckily she wasn't abused, but our two brothers were. So they've joined our army. We started off, Jane and I, trying the two cells, and we built up an army. There are 170 us now, all warriors, and we're all fighting for the same thing, just truth, just justice for what happened to us, but we never get that. I don't know how many times I've wrote to MPs asking them. I do a radio show on doing one tonight at 7 PM and wakeupuk.net. I do that every Sunday night, just trying to find truth, justice, not just for myself or Jane, but for 170 kids who were abused, and we do not get justice.